What's the real difference in terms of impact on sleep and recovery?
Right. So LEDs, red LEDs at certain nanometers have the ability to affect your physiology versus just a red light bulb or a red night light. If you have a night light that's red in your room when you're waking up to go to the bathroom, that's probably better than having a bright white red light, night light. So having red light bulbs around are beneficial, but they're not therapeutic. They may not disturb you as much as a white light, but not all red light is created equal.
Welcome back to the Primal Reset Podcast. Today, we're joined by Denise De Baun, the CEO of Helight, a company pioneering in red light therapy for sleep, recovery, and performance. Denise brings a rare blend of startup expertise and wellness industry leadership, having guided the growth of cutting-edge wellness technologies and innovations for over 2 decades. Denise, it is a pleasure to have you. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's really a pleasure to be here. We've been trying to get this together for some time, so I'm glad we made it.
You've actually done me a great service of sending me one of your Helights. This is what it looks like for everyone out there that is interested. It's got a nice little top to it, a nice button. You click it on. This is what it looks like. It is something that I use every single night before I go to bed. It is something that I need to take with me everywhere I'm at. I was in California this past week. I took it with me to have a deeper and a better sleep. And sometimes it's hard to wake up. I will say it's given me such a great night's sleep. So, but Denise, tell me a little bit about Helight. Why did we focus on red light therapy for sleep, for performance, and for recovery?
Okay, so let me step back a little bit about the beginning of Helight. Helight was founded originally in Montreal, actually a joint venture between Montreal and France, but it originally was based on anti-aging and traditional red light therapy in spas. The company had a professional light. People went in and got a treatment for their faces or for anti-inflammation, injuries, whatever. And what happened during that time was that people who were having the sessions were coming back and telling the owners of Helight that they were sleeping better. And so to their credit, they decided we should look into this. We should probably make, if we can, an at-home device for sleep. And that started 3 years of research with sleep specialists, neuroscientists, to create what you have shown, which is this wonderful little tiny device. It's called Helight Sleep. Better sleep at your fingertips. You just press on the button and it powers up for 14 minutes. And then it starts to power down for 14 minutes. And there's a scientific reason for that. And that is because it mimics the sunset. So if we go back to cavemen, before there were lights, blue lights, initially from light bulbs, but now from our phones, our computers, we woke up in the morning with the sun. We got blue light into our eyes. It started our cortisol production. So we were awake and ready for the day. And then what happened at the end of the day? The sun began to set. That sunset is what cued the brain that it's time to get ready for bed. And it would start natural melatonin production. So that's what happened with human beings at the beginning. Enter innovation. And now we have light bulbs and we have computers. Thank you to Apple. We have iPhones and everything else. And we're constantly looking at blue light. And our brain doesn't really recognize anymore when it's time to shut down and start producing melatonin production naturally. So some people take supplements. There are lots of ways to start melatonin production. We do it naturally. And so what's different about Helight, not to sound like I'm on television selling this, but this is the only red light sleep therapy device that was designed specifically for sleep to help you fall asleep faster, which is to address sleep onset latency for people who can't fall asleep. to sleep deeper, which helps with not waking up in the middle of the night and just getting deep sleep is where your body starts to repair. If you're looking at Aura Rings or Whoop or any sleep trackers, you're tracking REM, light sleep, and deep sleep. Deep sleep is the repair. It's where you start detoxing and everything happen. So this allows you to have deeper sleep as well and just overall better quality sleep. And it does that because it's patented. It has a patented protocol that is timing, which we just discussed, the powering up for 14 minutes and the fade out for 14 minutes. It's the power, the nanometers, it's 630 nanometers. It's the intensity of the light, which is just enough to penetrate your eyelids so that it doesn't wake you up. And it's the diffusion. So red light usually has a single point of diffusion and this disperses. So it's that entire combination that makes this a red light sleep therapy device. And it really works. I mean, I had a very similar first experience as you did. I was handed this red box by somebody who heard that I was a wellness entrepreneur at a gathering. And they asked me if they can call me about it the next day. I said, oh, red light therapy. I'm in the beauty and wellness industry for more decades than you mentioned, but we don't need to go there. Thank you. And I am somebody who had sleep onset insomnia, which is very hard for me to go to sleep, diagnosed for many, many, many years. And then, like the rest of the world, we were binge watching at during COVID, right? Like 3:00 in the morning and we would wake up in New York just in time to hear Cuomo tell us we were going to live another day or die. So there was no circadian rhythm. So I used it that night. I fell asleep. I never saw the light go out ever, which means I fell asleep before 28 minutes, which for me was rare. And I woke up the next morning between 6 a.m. and 6:30 without any alarm, which I had not done for years. So I had a great first experience. You know how the universe puts wind at your sails when they want you to do something like, this is easy, this is going to go great, right? So it's not that way for everyone. The majority of our users get results within the first week, some within 2 weeks. We tell people to use it consistently for 3 weeks, 21 days. Everybody has different physiology, different issues. So for some people, it might take time for their rhythm to balance. For like somebody like me, it happened very, very, very quickly. We give a 60-night money back guarantee. We want people to use it. It's like, don't send it back. Use it for, 58 days and then send it back if it doesn't work. So, but that's how it works. All red light therapy will have a side benefit of better sleep over time. Like if you're going in front of the walls and everything every single day, your mitochondria is getting stimulated. And so your overall health is improving and your sleep will improve, but it won't necessarily help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep. So that's the difference.
So, I mean, there's a lot of information and I'm not paid to say any of this either, but it has worked for me. It's something that I use every single day, obviously. And I've had a phenomenal sleep schedule because of it. I mean, talking about the specific of red light for sleeping and for improving that deep sleep and that recovery. Most red light devices that are out there, we see a lot of imported ones from China. We see a lot that are just kind of mass marketed. A lot of them have the wrong wavelengths and have wrong results or wrong priorities that they're targeting. Why does Helight refuse to use such wavelengths?
So it's more about, rather than refusing, they did studies to determine what was an optimum wavelength for sleeping, for falling asleep. So, which we determined was 630 nanometers. It's not my invention. I get to brag about it, but the scientists and sleep engineers. And so a lot of red light therapy devices are 650, 60, 70 nanometers. And a lot of those are for inflammation, anti-aging. And we're not saying that that's bad. It's just we found that it was not optimum for falling asleep. We found that this was and not just the right wavelength in combination with everything else, right? So if you were just going to use 630 nanometers and put it by the side of your bed, I'm not sure that it would have the same effect without the dispersion, without the timing, the fade out, all of the rest of it. Because again, you're putting this on in the room should be completely dark, right? You want the red light to do its work, but you don't want it to disturb you and keep you up. So it's that balance of, stimulating your retinas and all of the scientific and biological and physiological things that it does, but without disturbing you. So when you sit in front of red light for other purposes, you're not necessarily trying to fall asleep. So if it's bright or intense, a lot of red light, you have to wear goggles to protect your eyes.
Or a bathing suit, you're in infrared sauna.
Exactly. So this is why we arrived at this nanometer and this intensity so that you can fall asleep. You don't wear an eye mask with this. So it has to go through your eyelids and hit your eyes. So it's the perfect wavelength to do that and not keep you up, and then help stimulate the natural melatonin production.
It's an amazing invention, and I mean, I couldn't speak more highly about this as well.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure having this, and I really do appreciate it. Absolutely.
We love it. I mean, our goal is to help everyone get better sleep. I mean, there is, a sleep epidemic, and there's a lot of stress on the planet. We can all say, we're all living under a lot of stress right now, but most of it is coming from the blue light, and because we're in front of screens all the time and playing games and working and our phone and communicating, and our circadian rhythms are wonky. And so there really is, I think the statistics keep changing. I mean, it goes from like 45% to 60% of people have insomnia or some form. But I would say that the majority of people have sleep issues at least sometime in their life. If it's not every night, it can be when they're traveling and when they have jet lag, or if they're in college and they're studying, or whether it's you have sleep issues like I had, which was a condition for decades. People all have sleep issues at some point in their life. Some people have babies keeping them up or whatever. So sleep is the core foundation of health. The three pillars are what? Sleep, exercise, and food. Without sleep, the other two don't matter. Not eat healthy enough and repair your body the way it needs to be repaired and be as vital as you want to be without sleep. So nothing matters if you're not sleeping properly. And on top of that, you can get very, very sick.
I mean, sleep is definitely one of the most important things, and we'll get back to the sleep topic as well, because I know there's a lot that we can uncover there. I'm curious with how people confuse red lights. And obviously, there's so many devices out there. There's light bulbs that claim to be red light therapy at the same time. A lot of people confuse real red light bulbs and tinted lamps with clinical red light therapy. What's
Yeah.
the real difference in terms of impact on sleep and recovery?
Right. So red LEDs at certain nanometers have the ability to affect your physiology versus just a red light bulb or a red night light, which may help not to disturb like blue light. Like the red light is probably like if you have a night light that's red in your room when you're waking up to go to the bathroom, that's probably better than having a bright white red light, night light. So having red light bulbs around are beneficial, but they're not therapeutic. They're beneficial because they're not maybe disrupting as much as a white light bulb might be, or or the wake up lights, whatever, but they're not therapeutic. They have not been scientifically tested to demonstrate that they actually have an effect on sleep or your physiology. It may be out there, but I have not seen any scientific studies or clinical trials that just say that red light bulbs have a favorable effect on your mitochondria, on your sleep, on your body. They may not disturb you as much as a white light, but not all red light is created equal.
I like that. I like that saying. And thinking about mentioning melatonin earlier, and a lot of people, myself included, have taken melatonin tablets before going to bed to increase the amount of melatonin that my body will produce. We've seen some side effects or, some challenges going through using melatonin tablets every single night where if you utilize that, it tells your body that you do not need any more melatonin production inside of your internal body. So it definitely, whenever you wean off of that, it will be a lot harder to. Is there too much red light therapy that we can consume? Is more light exposure better, or is there kind of a sweet spot? Should we use it every single day or no?
Well, Helight is designed to be used every single day. To answer your question, is there too much red light therapy? The first response to that is red light LEDs, red light therapy cannot hurt you. So, or I'll say I have not seen any evidence, any trials, anything written by scientists or doctors or that states that red light therapy can be detrimental. Red light therapy is used for infants, right? So doctors recommend it. Our device is recommended by many doctors, right? So red light therapy, and it takes a while for the medical health community to engage in, let's just say, alternative therapies like light therapy, sound therapy. But if you look over the last 5 years, it's being used more and more and more by the medical community and recommended by them. And it's my prediction that all of these therapies are going to increase over the next 10 years, even for surgeries and everything else. So it's being light and sound and other technologies are being used much, much more on healing. And there's more and more research about the effects of light on healing. So the original research, the first research that I came across was done probably in the 1970s, if I remember, by a doctor in Hungary. And he used rats to determine red light therapy, and the results were favorable. Following that, and that began the beginning of looking at red light therapy. And I don't remember exactly, so I don't want to state something that's wrong. I don't remember if it was on cancer or something, but it was on something negative and the results were favorable. Following that, NASA got into it and started looking at the effects of light, LED light, red light, amber light, color light for their astronauts in space. Why? Because they don't have access to the sun. And once NASA got involved, that stimulated commercialization of red light therapy. Oh, if NASA's doing it, what could it do for human beings? So that's kind of the evolution of the credibility of red light therapy. So it started with a doctor, but then NASA popularized it, I would say, because they got behind it. I think it's just the beginning of where red light therapy is going to go, where clinical trials are going to go. There's a lot of research going on about light and its effect on us in general. All kinds of light, amber light, blue light, white light. Why? Because we're in front of light all the time. So it's just the beginning. Now, did I digress or did I answer your question?
You answered my question absolutely. It's definitely not something that's going to have the same effect as taking a melatonin tablet. It's something to be used every single day, and it's not going to change your body in a negative aspect.
It's not
Only
synthetic.
positively.
It's not a synthetic. So melatonin supplements that you take are a synthetic, that it's not your natural melatonin. The sleep specialists and the sleep doctors that I work with, and most of the research that I've come across, say that melatonin tablet supplement use is good if it helps you, but for short periods. Reliance on it over time is not good. Right. And that's with any supplement, right? I mean, supplements, even taking vitamin E, sometimes you need to take a break or your body needs to detox from and allow itself to. Everything is in our body. We are producing everything. It's just that when we're out of balance, we're not producing it as efficiently as we might need to. So the goal is balance. And any way that a person can establish balance in their body is recommended. Because if you are a well-functioning body, you're producing all of these things yourselves. You don't need anything, but it's not realistic because we live under stress. Stress affects everything. We live in synthetic conditions that affects everything. So that's why supplements and therapies and anything else that we can do to bring our body back into homeostasis. The body's natural tendency is toward homeostasis. It's these external interventions that affect that. And if we were like living a natural life on an island, eating healthy with no stress and running and exercising and waking up with the sun and going to sleep with the sunset, we'd probably be producing all the vitamins that we need, unless something was out of balance.
It's going back to the caveman times. It's
Yes.
our circadian rhythm has gotten so messed up with staring at screens and TVs, computers, phones. It's I'm in Florida and it's very sunny outside right now, and I'm sitting in front of a computer screen. And
Right.
it messes with our circadian rhythm, whether we realize it or not. And trying to bring that back into our lives, even what we could call artificially, but through a natural process, is
Right.
what we need to do. And this is where red light therapy, and I agree with you on the future forecast as well. I think it'll only get bigger and bigger. It's already big, especially with NASA
Yeah.
popularizing it to the
Yeah.
masses. But I think I mean, shoot for the stars on red light therapy. There's so much studies, there's so much tests that is going out right now that we will see in the future. But even
Yeah.
right now, based on the research that we have, it's something that I urge everyone to try. I mean, even we could go into the sleep as well. And I think that might be time for another
Yeah.
podcast.
Yeah.
But I've always seen all these doctors and all these studies of don't go out in the sun. And, I have friends that are dermatologists and don't go out in the sun, don't go out in the sun. And the sun brings those variations of light into your body to help your body actually produce more or produce
Yeah.
what you need for your body to actually be healthy. Now, I'm not saying go out in the sun for hours upon hours without protecting yourself. It's not what I'm saying whatsoever. But if you stand outside for 5-10 minutes a day and you get a little bit of natural sunlight, it'll do a similar process, right? It's kind of,
That's true.
and there's been companies out there like Helight, but taken in the opposite effect, where
That's correct.
it's an alarm clock that wakes you up with the bright beam of, and this isn't natural, but a version of their natural sunlight.
Right. We're actually doing a second generation of Helight that has a wake up light that helps
Well,
you.
all right. I'm interested in this one because I definitely will. I'll have to get that one from you as well because I've wanted this alarm clock forever. But I know that there's a lot of people out there. It's definitely a big brand, and I won't name it. But if you can pair that for everyone out there that has a alarm clock that will wake you up with the sun, which is, in my opinion, and I don't know the statistics and the data behind it, but the best way to wake up, grab yourself a Helight. Make sure that you're actually sleeping well at night so that you can wake up naturally. You're going to bed naturally and you're waking up naturally because the puzzle's almost finished. You've got the waking up process or you've got the sleeping process. Try to pair them together, and with Helight coming out with an alarm clock or a wake up light, I mean, count me excited. I can't wait
Yeah.
for the days for that happens.
Thank you.
But Denise, kind of wrapping this all up, we'll definitely have to do another podcast. We'll have to talk a lot more about sleep and how important it is. Where
Thank
can
you.
people find more information? I know you've been everywhere. So where can people find more information about Helight, about the data that you've done, find a little bit more research, or even if they want to purchase one of these, if they want to purchase one of the products, where can they go?
They can go to helight.com, HELIGHT.com. We also sell on Amazon. We're also on a couple of other marketplaces like Goop and Sharper Image, but the easiest way would probably be Helight.com or Amazon. Helight.com is filled with information about the device. It also has scientific references in the footer where you can look at all clinical trials and science around photobiomodulation, red light therapy for sleep. So anybody that wants to get more informed in general, they can find that on our website as well.
Awesome. And I'll have all the links below in the description as well. But Denise, it was a
And
pleasure
if
to have
anybody
you on
wants
the
to
show.
reach me, if they want to reach me, it's Denise@Helight.com. And I answer my emails. So,
Perfect. She is good about that. So
yeah.
for anyone that's looking for more information, I'll have all the descriptions down below. Denise, it was a pleasure to have you on the show. We
Thank
definitely have
you.
to do this again. So everyone, you will see Denise again. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. I'm happy to recite them to Denise. We'll really dive in deep on your questions and get them answered. Denise, thank you so much.
Thanks so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.